Hi, everybody. Excited to be with you today. I'm Janet Harley, host for Faith in an Ever Changing World, Encouragement and Hope. It is my pleasure to have with me today Rob Shepherd. And Rob is a pastor and author. And thank you, Rob, for being my guest today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
Yes, good to have you with me. And right after our introduction, then we will be back and we'll hear more from Rob Shepherd. Stay with us. All right, and we are back. Rob, if you will, please share with us what has God given you to do in this season, and how is faith helping you do it?
Yeah, well, thank you again for having me on your show. This is
Yes,
it's an honor
absolutely.
for me. This for me, it all started in 2020 when the pandemic hits and the world shuts down.
Yeah,
I saw just a lot of people who had more time on their hands and were at home, and it seemed like, especially those in the faith community in churches, were spending a lot more time either reading or watching political news channels. And all of a sudden, it felt like the offense ramped up. We've always had offense in our world. We've always had people get offended.
yeah,
But I found Christians were just really drawing lines and being pretty ugly to each other. And so it became a very unsafe place to be. That if you would post something, if it didn't line up with their exact political leaning, they would blast you and just let you
yeah.
know it. And this was happening by good people that go to church. They say they love Jesus, but it just was happening a lot. And then in 2021, I met with it was a few different people who literally had left churches because the way they saw Christians treating other people online. And they just said, if that's the way that people of faith are going to treat one another, I don't want anything to do with it.
Mm,
So here I am as a pastor, and I'm like, so what do I do with this? Like, how do I help people to see that, like, okay, what you're mad about, what you're offended about, that may be worth being offended, but the way that you're handling it is actually pushing people away, and it's
right.
not having the effect that you want. And so, um, I don't know if I definitely don't think I'm the most qualified to help people with this, but I just saw a need and I just said, okay, God, if you'll use me, I want to try to help people learn how to get offended less to change the world more. I want to try to help people know, okay, when you get offended, here's some things you can do, practical things you can do to help get your message out without pushing people away.
Yes, yes. That's wonderful and so much needed then and now.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. So that's a blessing. That really is. Tell us about your books.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've written four books, and the
Ah,
first one was it's my oldest book, and so it is a little bit dated. But the first one is called "Even If You Were Perfect, Someone Would Crucify You," and it's about learning to be less of a people pleaser. Uh, and
ah.
and that
Mm,
book really started. It started early on in my pastoring life. I got an anonymous letter, and back then I didn't know that I should read anonymous letters. I just saw someone wrote me a letter. I was like, oh, they took the time to write. Let me read this thing. But it was anonymous, and it was 4 pages of just completely destroying my sermon. Just they hated
oh
everything
my
about it,
goodness,
and
Ron.
it was a pretty ugly letter.
Oh,
And I read it. It shocked me, and then I read it 4 times. And on the
mm,
fourth reading, I just had this still small voice say to me, "Even if you preached a perfect sermon, someone will crucify you." And that
yeah.
little phrase, it
Yep.
brought me such freedom. I balled up the letter, I threw it away, and I didn't think about it again. Because the truth is I know that sermon wasn't perfect, but it wasn't nearly as bad as this person was making it out to be.
Right.
And
Right.
I didn't even know who they were. They didn't even have the courage to let me know who they are. So I was allowing an unnamed person to define me, and that just it was wasting time and wasting energy in my
Mm.
day. And so that's what the first book is about. The second book is titled Misspelled Christian, and it's really geared towards helping Christians really live out their faith. It's a thicker book, but it's a very practical read to how do we
Mm.
live out our faith and how do we bring heaven to earth. And so that's really the idea of that. And then the third book is called Kill the Jerk, and it's a little shocking of a title, but
Yeah. Kill
it,
the jerk.
Kill the Jerk. Yeah.
Wow.
The subtitle is a nonviolent way towards healthy relationships. So I try to let people know I don't
Oh,
really want you to kill anyone, but
yes,
the
right.
idea really comes from the fact that relationships are tough and relationships are
Yeah.
tricky, and often when they start to fall apart, we look at the other person and we say, "Well, they're the reason to blame. They're the issue."
Mm.
But the truth is every breakdown in a relationship, I play a part in it. And so until I allow Jesus to kill the jerk that I have inside of
Yeah.
me, I'll struggle
Yeah.
with relationships. And so it's
Right.
really a book for anyone, whether you're single, married, any relationship at all. It's a practical
Yes.
guide to have healthy relationships. And then my fourth book, which just came out on April 10th, is called When Offense Knocks. And it's about becoming offended less to change the world more.
Okay. Becoming offended when what was
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Get offended less to change the world more.
To change the world more. Oh,
Yeah,
awesome. Yes. Wow, those are great. I love the titles.
yeah. Thank you.
Certainly eye-catching and all, but what they're about. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Um, so I see that you are very popular on TikTok. 157,000 followers.
Yeah,
Wow. 6.7 million likes and multiple viral videos. Wow.
yeah,
That is unreal. That is unreal.
yeah.
Gracious. You are certainly a media influencer as well, sounds
Oh,
like.
yeah. I mean, I do love social media. Social media does bring a lot of conflict. There's a lot of you have to deal with the haters and the
Oh, yeah.
trolls, and you have to
Yeah.
deal with all that. But I just feel like if all the Christians get off social media, there is no one else being a positive light. And so I would rather deal with the difficult stuff, but point people to Jesus. And so I think that in Jesus's day, people gathered around wells or like marketplaces. And today we got to ask, where are the wells at? Where are people gathering? Well, they're gathering on
Um,
social media. They're already there. So
yeah.
there is a lot of bad that comes with social media, but there can also be good. And so I want to try to be a positive voice to create clean content that ultimately points people back to God.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're doing an outstanding job.
Oh, well, thank you.
Outstanding job with that. And thank you so much, Rob, for coming and sharing with us these words today and about your books as well. Let's see, I want to put up your information. Gracious, your newest book on that website, and then on TikTok, it's at Rob Shep.
That's
And
it.
then, of course, you're on Facebook
Yep,
and Instagram as well.
that's right.
So, if anyone wants to get in touch with Rob, please note these, and I'll also put this information in the comment section as well, so people can just click on that link and get in touch with you, Rob. Yes.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yes, you are so welcome. And thank you for joining me, Rob. Appreciate it so much. And thank you all for watching. And I do want to mention Abundant TV and Creative Motion Network. Both networks are just great for you and your families. Thank you again for watching. Have faith and look up, friends, where our help comes from. Bye. God bless.